Okay, in this video demo, we're going to be doing a death animation. And so a death animation obviously goes from here to lying on the floor. So let's um, go forward. I have 30 frames here. Let me take off the animation here. I have previous animation on here. I thought I deleted. Okay, clean thing. Now we can go to, I'm going to go to frame 20. So I have some room in here. And what I want to do is take the mover for the body and move it all the way to the ground. And don't worry about what the legs are doing. We'll fix this in a second. Now we could have used this shape to rotate her on the ground, but we use this shape, this one here. But we use that shape primarily for moving her around the world. So I don't really want to utilize that to rotate her whole body. So I'm using this ground plane here as the 0, the darker line, as my ground plane. And so she just needs to sort of be laying on the ground. And once again, this is all about posing where you need to. Find your death pose. Find your inner death pose, whatever that is. Sometimes I'll turn my feet out. If you select that bone, you can rotate the knee around. This bone. Usually this one. I have to do the IK handle. Oh, I'll figure it out. I'll let you know. I'm not sure what's going on with this rig. It's a simple rig, but maybe too simple. I don't know. We can certainly rotate the knee like that. And then we just go through and rotate her. So that she's on the ground. Kind of don't want to have pieces going through the ground, but it's okay if you do because nobody's going to be able to see them. Okay, that's a pretty good death animation. So what we have here is going from here to here. So now what we need to do is you can incorporate a hit, or like if you just died from poisoning or something. Those are you know, depending on why she's no longer living. Depends on the animation, but this is the most important part, is to, there's the rotate bones that I was looking for. Um, there you go. These things. Anyways, so say she died of poisoning or something, like she just drops dead, then that's going to be a lot quicker than the spread that I have right now. So I'm going to move this key over here to like 5. And then you can see she's blending from this pose to this pose. And there's some things that are okay to do that and some things that aren't. Like we want to take the feet and have them hold for a little bit. So I'm going to move the feet to frame like 7 maybe. So the feet hold on for a little bit longer. Again, we're creating overlap animations. And then in between here, I can leave the arms up. It's good. It's always good to kind of, when a character is doing an action, like moving through the air, to trace your path using body parts. For instance, like think of it like a kite tail, right? Where her arms were there, here. And then as she's falling, her arms, the gravity holds onto her arms really here. And then as she goes, they kind of follow suit, but not for a little while. And we can even go in here, then we have to adjust the arms again. Also, there's a thing called reversal of motion, where if she's going to be lying flat here, you want to bend her body the other way before she hits, because then when she hits, it has more impact. It doesn't right yet, but it will, because now we have to cut. This is our death pose here, right on farm. Let's make the actual death pose now on 7, and we can come back to 5. And we're going to rotate everything up a little bit. Hard to see. You'll notice I work in the right view a lot because I use the right view so I can see my silhouettes of the character. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to tell, like in a perspective mode. You can kind of do it, but it's harder. Like I get better view of silhouettes. When I'm in a side view. Okay, so her butt hits, and you want this to kind of whip, like a whip. So her butt hits, right? Which would be the first thing to hit, and then her back hits, and then her arms hit. Boom. So this ends up looking like this. I'm dead. And then here's a sneaky trick that works really well. Obviously, if you're falling, like a bouncing ball assignment, right? You don't just hit and stick. You bounce a bit. boom, bounce a bit. And then you, so I copied frame 7 was our end frame, right? So I went back before 7, one frame but back before 7, where everything's kind of in air again. And I copied that and put it over here on frame 9, because 2 frames later is the bounce up. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 frames later, I'm going to put our frame 7 again. I know it's kind of confusing. Basically, this was our end frame, this was our next end frame. I set keys there, copied them, moved them over here, and then went back to our end frame and copied them over here. And what that does is it goes, here's our end frame again, here's the frame before the end frame, here's the frame before the end frame again, and it creates a bounce. So all the motion is there, but it's way too fast. So let's move this around. I would like her to do these 3. I'd like it to take a longer time to get to frame 3. Ten frames. So now it's a slower sort of deal. And in fact, so you got a slow start and then a faster finish. Like that's better. Nice. I think the bounce down needs more timing because it kind of goes bah, bah, bah. Like from here to here. Move this one out another 5 frames. It's a little better. I think we can take the bounce out of the feed. Or we can move it down the line. It's good to offset these keys. Great, now we're going. Okay, now we're going to do the arms, because arms hit last. So there's our down frame for the arms, but we don't want them down quite yet. So I'm going to grab the shoulder, arm, and hand here. Move these down a little bit. That's a little better. See, I just by offsetting it so the arms are still up here, where the whole body is down, the arms are still up, and we can even go in here and rotate a little bit. Oops, I forgot to move the key. I just went in and set it. So here on frame 17, we need to get this arm back on the ground. That's the leg. That's still the leg. In the front view. Oh, I can delete that frame. I'm going to go in here and manually switch that. The dance. It's a little bouncy. I think my bounce up is too much. There we go. All right, that's a death animation. Let's see. It's still too fast in this part right here. We can take care of that though. Easy fix. Grab all your keys. Grab all your bits. And then you can stretch them out. This may be a little slow getting there. It's a little dramatic with the arms. Not too bad. I want to do something with the leg here. It's really a little too dead. And if you're having a hard time seeing it because it's looping it, go ahead and give yourself like an extra 30 frames where it isn't doing anything so you can see the character looks dead. Sometimes it's hard to visualize this when it loops like that. Cool. There's how to do a death animation.